Hello guys, I hope you are fine. So welcome to my channel. Today I'll be starting a new chapter, new concept. So here it goes. So today we'll be starting a lesson from the same book, Daffodil Social Science Class 6, Unit 3, Lesson 24, Government. The first topic in this lesson is why do we need a government? India is a group of several states and union territories, and that is why it is known as the Indian Union. Here it is said, since has many states and many union territories, so that is why, since India is having so many states and union territory, that is why it is known as the Indian Union. It is like a huge family, but with family members from different religions, castes, languages, etc., living in different parts of house. India has common borders with many neighboring countries, big and small. Here it is said, India is a very big family with family members from different religion, castes, languages. This thing I hope so I have explained in my previous video, so please look into it. Living in different parts of the houses in different parts of the state, and India shares common borders with many neighboring countries. It may be very huge, it may be very small, big, large, anything. The people of our country engage themselves in various types of commercial activities like agriculture, manufacturing, trade, and commerce. Here it is said, our country means the people of a country engage themselves in various types of commercial activities like agriculture, manufacturing, trade, and commerce. Every part of the country is linked together by transport and communication network through railways, roadways, airways, and communication connection. Here it is said, our means this thing. The country is engaged in various types of commercial activities like agriculture, manufacturing, trade, and commerce. But how? This is possible, but how you will do it? If there is no means transportation or no connection between the states, how it will be possible? Like from Assam, you have to go to Mumbai. It is not possible for every people to walk till there. You have to take some means road transport, air transport, water transport. You have to take some or the other thing to move from one place to other place. Farmers grow food for us, while the army defend our borders from the enemies. Industries manufacture the huge range of goods, while shops and retail chains cease to the sales and manufacturing part. But they all work in a team under the supervision of the government. Here it is said. See, I will be explaining you in a short way. If army defend our borders, they don't get food. Only if farmers grow food, then only they will get food, then only they are able to work. Otherwise they won't be able to work. And what is the use if farmer only produce the crops to them? No use, because there are so many farmers. India is called for agriculture, so there are so many farmers in our India. So there are not so many also means for that many farmers. Armies are not there, navies are also not there, crops will be wasted. So it has to go for industrial. What will industry do? If farmers produce wheat, industry will make into atta, grain, like that only. Then that industry will have to produce to the retailer. Industry can't supply to the people like that, because industry are at one part of the state or one part of the city. It is not possible to give home delivery to all, so they transport into the retail shop. It is now the retail shops who have to deal with the persons to sell. So it is a chain, otherwise it won't work. So that is why it is said, we they all work in a team under the supervision. They need a supervision, otherwise it will be producing. Taxes are required. If there are no taxes, government need army. How will government put in army? How will government put the people in army? How they will give salary? Chalo, means think that people go in army by giving salary, means payment of tax, means some payments what they have to pay. But how will government, after they are selected for armies, they become to protect our borders, to live our safely life. So they will also need salaries, other they won't work. So who will give? Government. So it has to be work under the supervision of government. The name of the that managing body is the government. So that managing who manage all these things are known as the government. It makes decision and get things done. Each citizen cannot individually participate in decision making for large areas as the country defines economic measures or education policy. These things are carried out by a separate body under the guidance of the central government. Here it is said, it is not possible means to make means it is not possible for one citizen to make so many things. So government makes decision and makes the things right. Chalo, atta you have to give, suppose I am saying, not I don't know what is the percentage of GST. Suppose atta 5% GST, rice 10% GST, hardware shop you go 18% GST. GST, why GST? They need tax, otherwise how will government supply? In this effect of coronavirus, government are using taxes that are collected from us, otherwise how would they fight? And also it is a very huge country. One person can't individual fight. I kill you, there is, if I murder you, there is a criminal offense. You cannot make, it is not possible for you, then whoever kill, whoever make rules means whole, it will become a fight against war. So government has to participate in making all this. And government cannot, there is a separate body of the government, not the whole government participate, but there is a separate body of the government that is under the guidance of the central government, which deals with a larger areas such as the country's defense, education, economic measures. The government is an organization or agency through which a political system exercises its authority, regulates public policy, and administers its subjects. Here it is said that government is an organization or agency, remember, that a political system through which a political system exercises its authority. Through a political system, they have to. Now the BJP government came, so there are many political parties who look after it. Means so many political, one political party win, then they come, like that it happens, which regulates the public policy and administrates the subject, which regulates what the public needs, what it requires, all that see and put it. In a modern society, governments plays a crucial role in the field of life. Government is the one who plays a very important role in the life, maintaining every field of life. It may be education, it may be army, it may be anything. Government has to oversee many activities such as welfare of the citizen of all kinds, running postal and railway services, minting coins, maintaining law and order, rushing essential to people in case of a natural disaster, etc. Here it is said that government has to see many things. They have to fight like anything. They have to see, is this going right? What have to be done if this happen? So what is the precaution? This is going to happen. What precautions can we take? Like that, government has to means oversee many activities. The government does this thing on the behalf of the people by providing the leadership of the country. And why does this things done? This government do on the behalf of the people. People can't do so many things. So government in behalf of the people fight so many things, making decision, implementing in them best implementing them in the best interest of all citizens. So making these things in a very good way, government provides this all things. So with this I have ended my topic, why do we need a government. So after the topic of why do we need a government, we'll be reading levels of government. So here it goes. Levels of government. The government works at different levels to govern the entire country efficiently. So first come the state government, then the you think central government, like that. Government has many parts. Different areas have different social and economic background, and so their needs and goals are also different. Suppose in Delhi or other places, smartphone will get in every houses in Bangalore, since it is the main city or technology. I forgot, there was one, I forgot what it is, what something it was, I forgot. So there that's why in Bangalore you will require everybody, you will see they will have smartphone, most of the people. Then so in Assam you will not find that every people rickshawalas you may say, but all people do not have here, maximum people. Farmers you won't see. So government has to look after this. Proper development of such widely different regions is not possible if a centralized authority has all the decision making power. So for this, central government can't move regularly from place to place. Today he will stay in Kashmir, tomorrow in South India, then West India, then East India. So central government, what he does, the he appoints state governments to look after the problems of the state. Then he collects information, sees what to do, and again gives the thing. I am explaining you in terms. Suppose it's not possible for a class teacher to stay in the class for the whole day. Okay, or it's not possible for the principal to go from each class to, means each and every class. So what he does, he appoints class teacher appoints class monitor. What does class monitor do? Class monitor of captain looks after the thing, what is going right or wrong, informs the teacher. Teachers take action against the students. If the students are not listening to the teacher, then the teacher authorize the principal. You will maybe saying that here to all this instruction came. No, class monitor plays a vital role, because it's not possible he looks after the class for the whole day. Class teacher will also not know so much about him. So the class teacher appointed class monitor. Why? To see the class, is it going right or not. Then class monitor informs class teacher. Class teacher sees is the thing going right or not, that particular thing, if yes or no. If no, then again he informed to the principal. Likewise, first the city someone is appointed, I hope so. So he looks after the city, is the thing going right or not. If not, then he informs to the state government see again it is not going right, he informs to the central government, because money will come from central government. State government also do not have so much money to protect. Then proper development such as widely different regions is not possible if a central authority has the decision making power. Therefore, for administrative efficiency and successful working of development program, three tier arrangements have been made at which the government works. This only I have explained, that there is a three tier government. One cannot take the whole decision. Understood? You may be saying four tier people are not counted. People are the things which they have to look upon. Students, class monitor is the person. People, he is also a student, but he is little bit higher than he looks. So what are the levels? These levels are local level. At village there is a local level, then the state level, and at the national level. The local level corners villages and towns, the state level corners an entire state, that is UP, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, etc., and the national level relates to the entire country. Here it is said that first local level, the village people inform the state government if the things are going. State government, if it is not working, then the national government. Here it is said that the local level covers villages and towns. The state level covers the entire state, that is Assam, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, etc. And the national level relates to the entire country. So with this I have ended my topic, levels of government. Next come after the levels of government, laws and the government. So here it is said the government performs various functions. It makes laws and ensures that they are followed. So government makes various functions, various laws, so that it sees that it is followed. If it is not followed, what is done? Let us see. The central government represents the whole country. It is through its government that a state makes laws and enforces this law. Central government looks after the whole country. It is not possible for the central government to look after each and every state. So, through its government, that a state makes laws and enforces this law. State sees this law, makes the law, and see that it is followed or not. The government always makes law keeping the best interest of the people in view. This government always sees or always makes keep law keeping the best interest of the people in view. For instance, if you want to drive a vehicle, you need a driving license. It is the law. It is not possible to give everyone a driving license. Those who don't know to ride a bike or a car, how can you give him a driving license? So it is the law that if you want to drive a vehicle, you need a driving license. So it is the law. Laws are made by the government and executed by their different agencies. So laws are made by the government and are looked by the state government. The police system, which sees to it that people are driving with a valid license, is a government agency. If you don't walk in the means without a driving license, you are always given a fine. So why this fine are taken? To see that if regularly fine is taken, his money is going down and down. So then he will make a driving license. Then where he goes for making a driving license, he will be tested that he knows or not, or he's capable of getting or not. So these things are there. The police who looks that the person is having driving a license or not is a government agency. Government is organized into many public offices, all of which have many legal powers. Here it is said many government has been organized in many public offices, and they have many legal powers. It is through these various agencies that the government discharges its function. So when a traffic inspector checks if a driver is carrying a valid license, it is a legal procedure. So here it is said that through these various agencies, government discharges its functions. Little bit it becomes easy for the government to see. So when traffic inspector checks that a driver is having a valid license or not, it is a legal procedure. You cannot say it is a illegal procedure, because you may be reading in some books that if you don't have a driving license, as I have said, it is taken a fine. It is illegal, it is not unlegal. And where this fine goes? It goes to the government so that it comes in the use. In absence of laws, legal power, the government cannot enforce its law. If these legal powers are absent, then government cannot enforce its law. It cannot make new laws if the previous laws are not applied. The judiciary is an important organ of the government. Its main duty is to defend the laws made by the government. If people or public officers violates law, it can be punished by the judiciary. So it is said judiciary is the main important organ of the law. So it is a main duty to defend the laws made by the government. The main, we as public should maintain the law so that police or no one can says that why you are not following. It is our duty to follow the laws. And if anyone violates the law, you can be punished by the judiciary. For example, if there is any discrimination in employment on the basis of caste, religion, sex, etc., the victim can be taken for the matter to the court for justice. Here it is said, if anyone is discriminated on the basis of caste, religion, sex, and etc., you are directly taken to the court for justice. That why I cannot be given. The court will administer justice by providing compassion to the victim and punishing the guilty. And the court will always provide a compassion. Compassion means a seat or something that he will provide so that she gets the thing, and it will be punished. Punishing the guilty. Guilty will be punished. So these are the things which I have discussed in the topic laws and government. So I hope it is clear. So relate to the examples given here, it will become very easy for you to understand laws and the government. Next topic which will be starting is categories of government. There are two categories of government: centralized and decentralized. Centralized government keeps tight control over government power. These types of government includes monarchy, dictatorship, authoritarian rule, etc. On the other hand, in decentralized type of government, power is shared with others like village to a state government to the center. This is a structure which each level having its own power and functions. This type of structure is typically of democracy. In a democracy, people elect their representative by vote. Here it is said that there are two categories of government. One is centralized and another one is decentralized. In centralized government, tight control over government power is there. Like who? Monarchy, where monarchy is there, where dictatorship is there, authoritarian rule are there, and etc. There centralized power is there, where the government is tight control, means tight control over government power is there. And what is decentralized type of government? It is here where power is shared, means from the grassroots level, means from the village level to the state government, from the state government to the center, and each structure is having its own powers and functions. And this type of structure is typically of democracy. And in a democracy, people elect their representative by vote. A democratic government is ultimately accountable to the people. Government has to work according to the will of the majority of voters. Here it is said, in democratic form of government, it is totally upon the people what they say and what they don't say. And the government has to work according to the will majority of voters. A government that fails to do so can lose the confidence of the people and can be thrown out of power in the next election. Here it is said, a government that fails to do so can lose their confidence of the people and thrown out of power in the next election. In a democracy, people rule indirectly. Means here it is said we have to choose. Today, if you choose BJP government, if BJP government is not working nicely, you can in the next election you can choose the Congress government. That is only a democratic form of government. Here, the people can choose their own government. It is not that people have to think, or the family heredity, like in monarchy, if his son or king will become, again he will become, again his son or king daughter will become, like that it is not there. In democratic form of government, you have to people select their own leaders. The next topic which will be starting is democratic and authoritarian government. A democratic government means government of the people, by the people, for the people. Means it is said in democratic government, the government is elected, is of the people. Government is of the people, by the people. People have elected him, and they have elected for whom? For them. So it is said government of the people, by the people, for the people is democratic form of government. A democratic form of government is that government in which the people rule themselves through their representatives. It is that form of government in people rule themselves through their representatives. It is based on three principles: individual rights, equality, and liberty. And in a democratic form of government, every citizen has the right to participate in the process of government. Public offices are open to all. It includes an ideal social system aimed at social welfare through the fullest development of the human being. In this system of government, everyone is equal before the law. Everyone enjoys equal rights, duties, and opportunity. No discrimination is made among the citizens. All citizens enjoy freedom of expression. Here it is said that the government of the people, by the people, for the people is a democratic form of government. In the democratic form of government, people rule themselves through their representative. It is based on three principles: individual rights, equality, and liberty. And every citizen has the right to participate in the process of government. And public offices are open for all. And also, here it is said that every city means it includes an ideal social system aimed at social welfare and for the fullest development of the human being. And here everyone is equal before the law. Everyone enjoys equal rights, duties and opportunities. No discrimination is made among the citizen, and all citizens like or enjoys the freedom of expression. So firstly we have read democratic form of government. Now we'll study about authoritarian government. Authoritarian government is one that is based on force and not on public choice. Another name of authoritarian government is dictatorship, in which people have no share in the process of government. Such government does not accept the principle of political equality or freedom of expression. People do not have any say in the formation of government. All activities in the country are controlled by the central authority, and the government has unlimited power. Here it is said the authoritarian government is based on the force and not on public choice. It is upon the force how it is running. And this type of name of another name is of authoritarian government is dictatorship, in which people have no share in the process of government. Such this government does not accept the principle of political equality or freedom of expression. People do not have any say in the formation of government. All activities in the country are controlled by the central government. Central government only here controls, not three levels. In India we have three levels of government, but in an authoritarian government there are not three levels. Only one level of government, that is the central government. The government has unlimited power. The central authority possesses absolute sovereignty and exercising the power as it wishes. But this type of government has some advantages. It is said to be efficient and capable of taking quick decisions. Yeah, it is said means this government has unlimited power, and the central authority possesses absolute sovereignty and exercising its power as it wishes. If it wants to change the power just now, he can change without any issue. Central government, he don't have to talk to the state or anything to change the power. He can change his own wish. But this government has some advantages. It is means it is capable of taking quick decision and efficient. It is very efficient, and it can take quick decision. It is also said to provide strong and stable government. And but such justification ignore the fact that the common people have no in the day-to-day government. In this authoritarian government, people says no, because people can't tolerate such things, and justification is ignored. And that's why in day-to-day government this is not possessed by the people. They have no power to decide how to live their lives, and the people have no power to decide how they will live. If the government says that you have to cut my hair like me, you have to cut my hair like me only. If government say no holidays, means no holidays. Central, it's on the central, it is based on the central government. And prime minister is the real head of the central government, and the chief minister is the real head of the state government. Here it is said that in a democratic form of government, prime minister is the real head of the government and chief minister is the real head of the state government. So next topic which will be moving is democratic governments. In a democracy, it is the people who have the right to elect their representatives. Only adults and males who have attained the age of 18 years have the right to vote in their elections. If a voter elects able persons as their representative, the government functions well. Here it is said in democratic form of government, it is people who vote. In 5 years you may be seeing for prime minister it is there, and state government after 5 years. And who can vote? Everyone cannot vote. One year child, how he will vote? He don't know anything about government, how he is able to vote? Or 12th year, he will vote anyone. Now someone will say that, oh, you have to vote to BJP only, you can't vote to others, I will kill you. Like that it may ask. So if a person is 18 years, he is very mature. So after 18 years they are given the right to vote, and the voter elect the able person, and if they elect the able person, they know the government will function well. Democratic government, however, is the government of the people. If the voter select good representative, the government will function well. If the selected representatives are corrupt or incompetent, the government will be corrupt and inefficient. So here it is said that if voters select good representative, the government will be good, and if they select corrupt government, then it will run like it will not function well, and it will be corrupt or and inefficient government. A democratic government function well if the citizens are aware of their rights and duties. Here it is said, in a democratic government functions well if citizens are aware of their rights and duties. Citizens have to be vigilant in a democracy. They often have to take important decisions if they possess adequate knowledge of the problems of their country or region. They can take correct decisions. Therefore, citizens should keep themselves up to date through newspaper, radio, television, public meetings, and other media. Here it is said, if the citizens are capable or aware of the rights and duties, then the government functions well, and citizens have to be very aware and have to be very vigilant in a democracy. They can have they in democracy form of government, people have to take any time any decision. So if they have proper knowledge, then the problems in come in a correct decision, no unfair decision. So people should keep themselves updated through various means of media. In a democracy, every citizen has the freedom to express their views, wherein he would want that others should understand his viewpoints. Likewise, he should understand that others also want that he should understand their views. So, in democracy form of government, every citizen or every person has the have freedom to express their view, and he wants that his views should be understood by other persons, whereas other person also wants him to understand his views. So both have to take important participant and hear patiently of the opponent. It should not you should not start fighting. You should means hear patiently. Even the views of the opinion should be heard patiently. In a good democracy, the views of the opposition are treated with respect, and the citizens have the right to consider the working of the government and to criticize it for their mistake. And here it is said, opposition in a good democracy, opposition are treated as respect, and citizens have right to point out the mistakes of the government. For the considering the right of the government, they have to criticize for their mistake. They have the here it is said that if you don't take out the mistake, then the government will be bad. That's all. They have the right to oppose the policies of the government if they do not approve their policies, but in doing so, they should not follow lawful and peaceful method. So here it is said, if they oppose the government and government do not approve of their policy, they should not follow the law and lawful and peaceful methods. They should take some harmful methods also. So this was my democratic government. I've explained you about democratic governments. Next topic which I'll be teaching you is representative democracy. So here it goes. In democratic government, people elect their representatives who work on the behalf of the people. Political parties put up candidates for election or government is an example of representative governments. The party explain their programs to the voters. Political parties play a very important part in our democracy. Their work as link between the mass and the government. They organize public opinion on various issues of the public interest. They support or oppose measures taken by the existing government when they are independent candidates who fight elections of their own. So here it is said, in democratic form of government, representatives are selected on the behalf of the people. And who stands? Political party who put up the candidates for election. And an example I have already said, it is our India. And how does it happen? The parties have to explain their programs to voters, and political parties plays an important role or important part in a democracy. They work as link between the mass and the government. If they do not work in link between the mass and the government, it will not help. And they organize public opinion on various issues of the public interest. They support or oppose measures taken by the existing government. The opposition may take support, may point out because they want it to be right, and often there are independent candidates who fight against election on their own. Representatives elected by the government from the legislature, The political party which wins the major seats in the legislature forms the government. Thus, representative government in one sense means the rule of the majority. Here it is said, the representatives are elected by the people from the legislature, and the people means the political party who wins the highest number of seats, or the majority you can say. They are in sense the government. Representative government means the rule of the majority. Representative belonging to other political parties belonging in the minority from the opposition in the legislature. Those who are not means they are minorities, they are the opposition in the legislature. Sometimes when no single political party is in the majority, one or more contrasting political party has to join to form the government. This alliance is called coalition government. Here it is said, suppose Congress, you need 256 to win, okay, seats to win, and you did not get that many seats, okay, so you have to join two government. You have to take the other government to make. Suppose BJP has 210, you may assume 200. Congress has 56, or you think 50. Congress has 50. Then Aam Aadmi Party has 56. Others has 6. So it is on you. You have to make total 256. You may directly join the hand with Aam Aadmi Party to make the vote 256. Means you have to alliance. You have to make the party joint alliance. You have to make, or you can take as Congress plus others. It's on you. But yes, Prime Minister is who, or you know that the Congress and their three cannot join, so they are on. They will lose. They have to take BJP. If BJP come on Congress, then Congress will become, means Congress one member will become the president, prime minister, and if BJP take Congress, then BJP's one leader will become the prime minister. So this type of alliance is known as coalition government. There can also be situation where the party getting the largest number of seats through not majority of seats forms the government within the support of other political parties and independent members. Majority rules does not mean ignoring the view of the minority. In India, before independence, a small minority was allowed to vote. Several national leaders commended the practice and demand that every adult should be equal right to vote. Here it is said, before independence also a minority was allowed to vote. If you don't have so many people, then minority have to be only appointed. Majority rule does not mean ignoring the view of the minorities. So here it is said that several national leaders commended the practice and demanded that every, so they have supported and said that every adult have the equal right to vote, those who are above 18 years. This is the basic principle of representative government. It is known as the universal adult franchise. The people who are given equal right to vote above 18 years are known as universal adult franchise. A democracy is successful only when all the citizens have the right to vote, and it is only possible when all citizens are given right to vote, not a particular citizen. So with this I have ended my means another point, representative government. With this I have ended my chapter. I request you all to please see my video, like it, subscribe it, and if you have any doubt you can inbox me. I am ready to answer your questions. Till then, thank you. Bye bye.